How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. You have about 30 days left to buy Bitcoin. You're going to want to buy in that time frame. I want to explain why that is, also why we're going to probably have a very interesting week, maybe an insane week, a crazy week, however you want to phrase it. This week will be super interesting. We have a lot of big events happening this week and in the future, so stay through to the end of the video. Definitely hit subscribe if you haven't done that already. Check out the links underneath the video as well to Margex, where you can trade cryptocurrencies on leverage. They have a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you can trade, from meme coins like Doge, Pepe, Shiba, to Caspa and other layer ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can trade all of that over on Margex, and there's a deposit bonus underneath the video as well. There's also a link down there to CoinW in case you want a different place to trade. They also have futures on CoinW, and they also have spot trading. Spot trading, obviously, you can go buy some Bitcoin, hold it for the long term, and they have deposit bonuses when you use the link underneath the video. I think this is a good time to set up some trades in case you wanted some leverage positions moving into the bull market. Like I've said, bull markets are where you can make a lot of money from long positions, from trading on leverage, and our setup looks pretty good. I mean, honestly, we're moving into a very bullish time, and we have seen a bit of a dip. Now, some people only like to trade when we move up. I think it makes sense to go lower leverage in times like this where there's a little bit of uncertainty. Get yourself in at a better position when the price is a little bit lower, and then, yeah, you'll have some bigger gains in the future. I still have a lot of my long positions open because I opened them in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s on lower leverage, so that way I wouldn't be wiped out. Now, let's take a look at the market. A lot of people think this looks pretty scary, right? We're seeing a bit of a dip here today. The last couple days, right? We went up to 74,000 and then down. Now we're at 66. And yeah, we have come down a decent amount, like 12%. But just scroll out a little bit. And sorry that my screen's a little bit buggy. This is the last day in this setup, but we'll get back to the normal setup here soon. You can see if you just scroll out, like we have not had a dip that was significant since we got the ETFs approved. And even then, yeah, we saw like a 20% dip that lasted 10 days or something like that. But ever since then, it's been straight up. This is quite normal and healthy to flush out some leverage, to flush out some of the weak hands, and then typically we consolidate a little bit and then move back up. I mean, that's what we always do in bull markets. Now, we do have a bit of a big week coming this week. We have the Bank of Japan rate decision on Tuesday. We have Australia's rate decision on Tuesday as well. I've heard some people talking about how Bank of Japan might actually raise rates for the first time in a very long time. Wednesday, we had the Fed rate decision, the U.S. Fed rate decision, the FOMC economic projections, Powell press conference. Obviously, I think there's a pretty good chance that he'll speak pretty hawkishly because we did have some higher inflation numbers. It'll probably be one of those things where he says, hey, we're still not looking at raising rates. We saw some higher inflation than we expected. This, just like when we see good numbers, doesn't necessarily mean anything when we just see it for 1 month. We're going to have to continue to monitor, something like that. And then Bank of England rate decision on Thursday. It just is a massive bank of week this week. We're going to see a lot of numbers coming out, a lot of projections, a lot of information with where maybe liquidity is going in the future, which obviously affects risk assets. Now, Bitcoin has been moving without really taking into account the financial conditions. Sure, like the economies are good, but it's not like a lot of countries are really loosening the strings on their economic policy. They're still keeping things relatively tight. Now, this next week will also be interesting to see what happens with the Bitcoin ETFs. We saw a big week last week, 35,400 Bitcoin being bought, which was the highest that we've seen since week 6. I believe we also saw a higher net amount of purchasing this month or this week, but the price is also higher than it was in week 6. So it was pretty much a record week, or right there in terms of capital inflows Bitcoin bought this last week. Now, why do I say that you really have until maybe April 19, April 20 to buy Bitcoin? Well, we have the Bitcoin halving, and it's about 32 days away, April 20th. At this point, right now, there's 900 Bitcoin being mined each day, which is what? Trying to do the math quickly, 6,300 a week Bitcoin being mined. Now, the average Bitcoin being bought somewhere in the $20,000, $25,000, or $20,000, $25,000 Bitcoin range based on the last 10 weeks. So we're still buying about 4 times as much Bitcoin as what's being produced by the miners. But in 4 weeks, we have another massive catalyst. Now, some people think this is going to be a sell the news event, and it could be short term. I don't really care about what happens the day of, but I do care what happens afterwards, which is there's half as much new Bitcoin being made. The ETFs will most likely still be buying and maybe even ramping up. I've heard some people that are at massive companies saying, hey, we're going to see bigger inflows into these Bitcoin ETFs because, one, they're performing really well. 2, a lot of companies haven't actually been able to pass the compliance or how to sell these ETFs to clients yet. So that's going to happen, but it takes months and months. A lot of people are thinking that maybe the second half of the year is when we start getting massive inflows. So, I mean, think about that. If instead of 25,000 Bitcoin being bought, what if it's just like last week? What if it's 35,000 Bitcoin? And instead of 6,300 Bitcoin, it's closer to 3,150 being made each day. Well, that is a huge difference. I mean, that's 10x what's being made by the Bitcoin miners. And I know the price is going down over the last few days, right? And some people are like, how can the price go down when there's still people buying it? Well, obviously there are more sellers than buyers. In some area, people are selling, but that can only happen so long. There are only so many people that want to sell their Bitcoin at $70,000, $65,000, $75,000, and then we keep going. And then people want to hold on. They're like, oh, why would I sell at 100 when I could get 250,000 per Bitcoin in a little while? And that's kind of the mentality. Then the narrative will be, hey, we might not ever see another bear market. And then people hold on to their Bitcoin. And then we probably will see another bear market. Maybe not as bad as the bear markets in the past. But then those people that think that we're never going to have another bear market are the exit liquidity for the people that do want to take profits, right? So, yeah, you have about 32 days. You have until April 20 because that's going to be a massive piece of news. And up to that point, we'll probably still see big inflows into the Bitcoin ETF. So we'll probably keep on stair-stepping up, even if we have a couple weeks like this where we're down. Maybe some more people get liquidated, some more aggressive longs get liquidated. But then, yeah, we're going to have this massive catalyst that kind of changes the nature of Bitcoin. The stock to flow is going to be lower than that of gold, real estate, and that's going to be a big narrative. And there are going to be people that speculate too. It's not just Bitcoin that's probably going to go up. I mean, right now, Bitcoin's doing well, but there are other altcoins that are just killing it. Like Solana up at 192, very close to 200. It's the highest market cap it's ever been. The price isn't as high as the last bull market, but the market cap is already higher. And there are cryptos like this. I never even heard of this until yesterday. Someone mentioned it. Book of Meme enters the top 100 crypto assets days after launch, following major Binance news. This is just a meme coin based on Solana, I believe. And someone turned 50 SOL into 767 SOL by investing in the pre-sale. There are people that made millions of dollars from like $500. It has a market cap of about 1.3 billion at the time of this recording. I was just looking it up like an hour ago. This is the kind of crazy stuff that happens in a bull market. Like this, I guess this can happen in a bear market like Pepe did this, but we're getting news of new meme coins going up to hundreds of millions of dollars market cap. Like every week or two, there's some new meme coin. And this was pretty interesting because we don't typically see something crack the top 100 that quickly. So yeah, I mean, people are looking for returns. You can also see Avalanche snapped up some meme coins. And I talked about how they were going to do this a while ago, but they picked up Kimbo, Cock Inu, and 3 other tokens. The other 3 tokens were ones I didn't really know. Gecko, Tech, and No Chill. But it's just interesting. You can have layer 1s now that are buying meme coins. And they've said that it's important to invest in the meme economy, invest in these kinds of cryptos because they do have attention, even if they don't have a lot of utility. So, I mean, think about that. There's a major layer 1 that has probably hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe more, that is investing in meme coins right now in the beginning of the bull market. Like, how much crazier is this market going to get? How crazy is it going to be in a year if it's not just Avalanche, but Solana says that they're going to start investing. I don't know, the Ethereum Foundation mentions that they're going to start buying some of their tokens. Like, imagine the pumps, imagine the liquidity going into some of these cryptos. It's just going to be insane. We're in for a crazy next year and a half. And honestly, I am really happy that we're seeing this pullback, because this means that we probably are more likely to continue moving up without some kind of big blow off top and massive crash down. Honestly, I'd be okay if every month or two we had a 10-20% pullback like this. I think it's good because it gets all the super greedy people out, or the people that are just like in it for the short term that freak out at a small dip. They're out of the market. And then we get the big buyers like BlackRock, MicroStrategy, you and me probably, that continue to buy this dip and then force us up. And like I said, I would much rather this happen than we go up for the next 3 months. We go up to 100, 120K, and then we come back down to 60 or something like that. I would rather us go to 73 and then come back to 60, 67, 65, and then continue moving up. I think that's much healthier, and it means that we probably will have a much longer runway for this next bull market. Again, I want this bull market to last a year or 2 years. Honestly, it would be great if it lasts forever, but probably won't, right? I would love to see this bull market last for a lot longer than a really quick one, because, I mean, that's where you feel those strong emotions where they just like destroy you. If we go up to 100K and you're like, oh, holy crap, someone just bought a crap ton, and then we crash right back down, like, you're going to feel that FOMO. And I think some people, or not that FOMO, you're going to feel that pain. I think some people too are feeling maybe a little bit more emotional. And I like to survey myself a little bit too, and I've talked to other influencers too. I like to tell you guys what I'm feeling, because you're probably feeling a similar way. Honestly, like, this dip hurt more than the ETF dip. And I think that's because the numbers are just much bigger. Like, the amount of crypto I have now, in dollar terms, is much higher than back here. And I've also accumulated more crypto since the ETF decision. But, like, I own a lot bigger dollar amount. So when we see a 10% fluctuation, like, that is a lot of money that my dollar value goes down. Compared to back here, the price of Bitcoin was 50% less. A lot of altcoins were like 100% less. So yeah, that one hurt, but I mean, not like this one in terms of dollar value. And now I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, if I'm feeling this, a lot of other people are feeling it. I know a lot of people are freaking out on the timeline, but I'm thinking, okay, again, just emotionally, it's a little bit freaky. But when I just remember, okay, this is completely normal. This is healthy. This is good for us. This is a time that you can buy the dip or make some decisions that will probably help you in the future. I mean, there are a lot of altcoins down 20%, 10%. Some down even much more if they're small caps. Like, there are a ton of small caps that I own. They're down like 40%, 50% over the last 5 days. But that is healthy. Again, that's something that's good, right? That's how you cleanse the weak hands. So just keep that in mind. We are in for a crazy couple weeks. And I know people don't like when I say crazy, insane, nuts, all that stuff. And they say, well, we've just gone sideways. But we haven't really. I mean, some altcoins are up 1,000% that I've invested in. We've seen Bitcoin go up 50%, even with this dip, over 50% in the last month and a half or 2 months. So this has been nuts. Like, this is the best performing asset of the year by far. The ETFs are buying more than we could have ever thought, really. I think this has been more significant than most people thought. And we continue to see big wallets like Mr. 100 buy a lot of Bitcoin. We continue to see MicroStrategy with the same playbook buy Bitcoin from debt. Like, this is crazy. If you don't think the market has been crazy so far this year, I don't know. Maybe you need to just leverage trade, because this is crazy. Like, this should give you adrenaline. What's happened this year meme coins going up like crazy, layer ones buying meme coins. Like, this is nuts. This is the craziness that comes with crypto. But maybe you're just immune to it. Maybe even crypto doesn't give you enough adrenaline at this point if you don't think this is crazy. Now, let me know your thoughts, though, underneath the video. Again, there are links to MargX and to CoinW underneath the video. In case you want to, there's a link to HGAalgo. It's 20% off right now, but it gives you indicators like this bullish momentum indicator that shows it popped up at 45,000, and now we're up at 67,000. So you could see this. Oh, we flip bullish, boom, get in. And when it flips bearish, maybe you want to get out or something like that. In terms of long positions, there's also a DCA indicator that I don't have pulled up here, but it tells you when to dollar cost average, and it's really good about nailing bottoms. And you can also dollar cost average out too. It gives you dollar cost average out features as well. So definitely check that out underneath the video. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.